Now, speaking of all that vulnerability, it's time for Ozzy to have his vulnerability with his parents and reveal to them what happened to him when he was a child. And some dirty, stinky, filthy, nasty, rank heifer preyed on him and stole his innocence, stole his identity. Honey, in the words of Jocelyn Hernandez, I see myself fucking her up. I see myself fucking her up. Child. So, he telling them, he kind of caking about it. They looking hella concerned, scared, all that shit. But he go ahead and tell them, long time ago, when I was on my cousin and them, I was violated by somebody that was an adult. And they are distraught and disheveled. So their response can indicate to us they, specifically the mama, that they didn't know nothing about this. And it's fucking them up. Like, how could we not have known? Like, I thought we put everything in play to, like, prevent that. Which I feel like is, that's natural. It's so fucking sad. It's just very sad and fucked up, right? Because when you cross all your T's and dot your I's, and the one thing you was trying to prevent still happens, that shit fucks your head up so fucking bad. Like, I hate when people be like, people don't talk enough about, but that's one thing people don't talk enough about. When you like invested in something, like when you invested in the preventionary methods to a T, you did all of the things, you did everything you were supposed to do, everything to prevent the thing that you was trying to prevent, and then boom, TikTok, it just still, like, bruh. But yeah, child. So I like the way the mama responded, because I feel like a lot of parents, when kids, the kids in the dynamic reveal something to them, even if they don't respond in a way that's victim blamey, they respond in a way that makes it all about them. Like Jack's mama, for instance. They respond like, oh my gosh. Oh, and now, oh God. And then the victim ends up counseling the parent. Like, no. Because a harsh reality is too that sometimes I took a moment of silence to emphasize the sensitivity that I understand, but I don't really have the capacity to energy transfer right now in this moment, because I gotta simply state it and move on. But the way that society is set up, it sets parents up to serve two masters. And what I mean by that is they end up neglecting the spiritual, emotional aspects of things, where they like, I gotta work. So I gotta set up these other people here to look after my kid and make sure that my kid is protected, right? Because if I don't go to work, then I'm gonna lose my job, and all of these other things will happen. If I don't do all of the things, then everything will fall apart. If I don't do everything, everything will fall apart. And where is the God in that? Where is the faith in that? Where is the magic in that? Where is the wonder in that? Where is the living in that? Yes, this is Earth, but one thing about Earth is one of the most multi-dimensional planets in this fucking world. So if Earth ain't got no God in it, what the fuck? You feel me? And so, amongst I know I'm not tripping picking up on the spiritual and like religious conversations that's coming up in this show and in the writing and all of that shit. Cause yeah, this is how I do my content. But also it's definitely there. That's also why I felt the need and desire to show that juror prospect list also, because that was also like a confirmation to me that I'm not just making up shit. But yeah, a lot of parents end up serving two masters, and it's like they pray to God so that they can go serve the devil. They ask God for blessings so they can go give it to the devil. Go give all their energy and time and vulnerability and strength and power and all of that to the devil. Just praying for everything, energy, blessings and all of that so they can go give it to the devil. And people do that with people also. You know, the agents of chaos and such, people who always got some drama going on in their life, and they go to people of light and they like, oh my gosh, the world is falling, everything, people are after me and everything's going on, oh my gosh, I'm just always a victim, and they revitalize off of you, and then they go back and they do the same shit all over again. And then when all of that shit drains them, they come back to you for more energy. They are coming and stealing blessings from you to go give to the demons they like to hang out with. And I say all that to say that if that wasn't the functionality and if it wasn't going on like that, you would have peeped something was off with your kid. If you saw yourself better, you would see your kid clearer. Period. And so that's why I said I like the way that his mama responded, because her emotions are valid and she deserves to have her emotions, because that is traumatizing for her as well to hear that and know and, you know, find out that something of the sort happened to her kid, and she did do what she felt she could to try to prevent all of that, and, you know, several other things, right? It's just also a harsh reality and multiple truths being there at once, that a lot of the times parents in that position do have to deal with that cross to bear of having to work out, you know, forgiving themselves for not being more in tune. And we have to do that with ourselves too, on an individual level, not just like as it concerns traumas or, you know, shit like that. But on an individual level, when we make a mistake that we feel like or know we should have been smarter than that, we should have known better, it's usually the mistake ended up happening because we forgot to be our lover. We forgot to be in tune with ourselves. Something was draining our energy. So we were struggling to be in tune with ourselves. That's why in certain cases, shoulda, coulda, woulda is a myth. And you have to just learn how to translate that shit into wisdom and go forward differently. Go forward being more faithful and not operating in this way of, I got to stretch myself. I got to hurry up and fucking grow 8 arms and turn into an octopus with a fucking unicorn head so that I can make sure that the world is healed. No, because then what about you? You need you too. And when people have kids, they be like, oh, you know, I gotta point to my kids, Yes. But even still, you need you too, because you need to see you clear and be in tune with you, like talking about, so that you can see and tune in with your kids more effortlessly and more clearly. Because a lot of the time, people are not connecting with their kids because they're not connected with themselves. They don't have the capacity to love their kids because they're not loving themselves. They're not taking the time out to go out of their way to love themselves. They're going out of their way to do everything else. And shit like this ends up happening. Their kids end up being taken advantage of by other people. Usually, often, people who were put in place to be the second hand, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand, whatever protection. And it does take a village. It does. However, all the while, you attract what you entertain. Whew, the parallels, honey. You attract what you entertain. And if you're habitually functioning in a way that is disconnected from self, you're going to attract other people who are disconnected from self. And quite a bit of those people are evil and have poor intent. Not all, but a lot of people who are evil and have poor intent and who are predators, they are that way because they're hollowed. They're disconnected. They're dissociated. You know how people are like, how could they sleep at night knowing that they did something like that? Because they are disconnected. They're dissociated. They're not in tune with their conscience. They're not in tune with themselves. And they may not even be sleeping at night, but they are not in tune with that conscience shit that you're talking about. And think about the multiple meaning of that word in itself, conscience. Think about the multiple meaning of that. So yeah, to pinpoint real quick about this daddy, he had a concerned response. I just don't know what to make of it, really. A part of me feels like a lot of men in this situation would just let the mama lead, especially if they're just not that, if they're just not that person to extend the nurturing compassion in that way. Like he's doing it in his own way, like he ends up sitting behind him, putting his hand on his shoulder and things of that nature. He does hug him and he does it in the quote unquote masculine way. It's just, I just feel like it's something that he is not saying. I feel like it's something that he's not saying. But they reassure him and it's like, hey, we also want to let you know that, like, if you had told us back then, we would have believed you then. We believe you now, and we here for you. So, like I said, like, I really love how they responded. I just wonder more what's on that daddy's mind. Wonder more about what's on his mind. Because he always seemed like he's saying a lot, but nothing at all. So yeah, we'll get to the next scene, and Naima is over to grandma. Well, grandma is over to their house, cause she there watching them and shit. And child, yeah, she is at Jack's damn house. Yeah, she at Jack's damn house. So they doing TikToks. Mama Lou can't dance to save her life, honey. And then Papa Lou, not Louis, but Jackson's daddy, old punk ass Paul from Being Mary Jane, he pop up at the door and low-key how-key forces his way in so he can meet the kids and all this and that and the third. I'm like, sir, that lady just told you. Because Mama Lou, emphasizes to him, I didn't tell you that for you to come over here. I didn't tell you that I was over here watching them. Sometimes I say stuff in my head, y'all, and I think I said it out loud. Bear with me, okay? But she tells him that, she didn't tell him to come over there. She didn't tell him that she was watching the kids for him to come over there. She ain't even talked to Jax about what she want to talk to her about. So what the fuck is you doing? Like, nigga, no. But he going in there anyway, running off at the mouth, introducing himself, bribing them for information. He also does TikTok with Naima. He can actually, shake a little leg. Oh, punk ass Paul. But he also tells them, the simple details of his backstory. He wasn't there for Jax like talking about because he was a drug addict. And he says he's clean now. I'm wording that like that specifically. Cause when people on drugs like that, like it seems like he would go on what they call those? Benders? I know another word is binge. But like he kind of like a, I would say like a drifter, like people who abscond to go and do their drugs is usually, I feel like the way people do drugs and the way people take themselves out of this world, the way that they go about it says a lot about what's going on with them. So and or how they feel about themselves and their position in the world. So I feel like people who abscond to do drugs and like people who abscond to take themselves out of this world, they feel like they are burdens. They feel like they're burdens, I feel like, amongst like when people do violent manners of taking themselves out of this world, I feel like they deserve to be harmed. When people do it the painless way, I feel like when people stay around and they are functioning in their addiction, I feel like that's usually when they feel like the substance is fueling their performance, that is helping them do it better, or it's helping them do it more in peace, or it's helping them do it happier, or it's helping them do it more lovingly, or something of the sort. They feel like they need that extra, like it's feeling something. But I don't always feel like addicts are indulging because they're trying to fill a void. Sometimes I feel like they are maybe, I saw a post about that the other day. I forgot what they called it, but like the low, slow, drawn out version of somebody taking themselves out of this world. So yeah, definitely light, love, and healing. Light, love, and healing. Light, love, and healing. Emphasis on liberation to anyone going through anything of that nature. If you know anyone or have relationships, or you have been in relationships with anyone who has had addiction issues, that shit is no joke. Light, love, and healing and liberation to you. For real, for real. Chad. So he giving them the rundown, letting them know all of the things and whatnot. They looking crazy. But like I said, he bribed them, so that warmed them up. Now, this is very damaging because he has a poor relationship with boundaries. And so it makes sense why Jax has a very poor relationship with boundaries as well, just, in a different way. Child. But honey, so the next scene, Lewis is at work and he got to get his ass handed to him a bit by, his, I feel like he's kind of his supervisor, but also his colleague at the same time. Like they're kind of equal, but he may be a little bit higher than Lewis all at the same time. He has very, like, lovely hair. Like his curls are just so tight. But he getting on Lewis' ass because Lewis is not leading appropriately. And so Lewis has to put his dick on the table to make a point. And so he attempts to fire Damani. And Damani pulls a fast one talking about so does that mean that I don't have to still complete my additional training process and all of that shit? And so, oh boy, it's like additional training. What is you talking about? See, he catching Lewis up, and when he was trying to help him, he fucking him over now. And so he is like, Lewis told me I had to complete an indefinite Shit, an indefinite additional training period without pay. And since I'm one of the only of 3 black men hired to develop and shit in this company in its history, I was willing to give it a try because I'm eager to be part of the family here. I see myself fucking him up. I see myself fucking him up. Because one of the worst things is you fucking lied to kick it. He caught you in your lie. And he spared you. He tried to help you. Now, granted, Lewis is a fool because you caught him in a lie. Like, there has to be accountability for that. Like, you didn't give him like any real accountability for that. You cushioned the you cushioned it. Like, you don't cushion the accountability. He cushioned himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, nigga lied. And he put you in a fucked up position. It's like he putting you in a fucked up position now. He is dishonest. And yes, it's still dishonest, even though he is being truthful. Like, what he's saying about what Lewis said is true. But he's being dishonest in his intent for communicating it, as well as how he's making it seem. Because Lewis told him that, trying to save his ass, trying to cushion him. But because his ass is still not measuring up and he fucking up, he want to try to bring Lewis down with him. Crab in a bucket, head ass, sorry ass, raggedy ass ninja. So, old boy has to, take what he said back. They can't fire him now. He like, look, we're gonna let HR hire that. Just let's put this on ice real quick. And he excuses him. And then he gets on Lewis' ass and is like, bro, you gonna be a leader? Like, you gotta get your ducks in a row, okay? So you cannot be doing all this pussyfooting, dilly-dallying. Like, be the boss, nigga. Be the boss. That don't mean that you have to work him like a slave or no shit, but require that people honor their word. Require that they honor their word. Require that they honor the requirements for the betterment of the company and the betterment of y'all's purpose, y'all's core values, y'all mission statement. Stand up. Be a respectable person so that you will hire respectful people. Be a respectable person so that you will hire respectful people. Because people might like you for, enabling their bullshit. But they won't respect you. And to be a leader, you don't need to be liked. You do need to be respected. Okay? Okay. Now, we back over with Mama Lou at Jack's house. Jax is getting home. Her mama is on the couch, sleep. So, her mama is judging her Amazon packages. So they get to talking, and Jack says, I know what happened. Mama Lou like, huh? What you do? Cause she thinking Jax is talking about the daddy. But Jax is talking about, she knows the kids told her about the Tony situation and the baby and all that good shit. And so Mama Lou is like, oh yeah, they did. You right. And she like, look, I don't know how we gonna get over this. I mean, we spoke to a therapist about it. We spoke to the kids. But I can't stop thinking about how this is going to affect our relationship with them going forward, All I can do is hope and pray that they'll be able to move past this. And Mama Lou is like, well, I did some things in the past and you managed to forgive me, they'll be just fine. And speaking of forgiveness, have you spoken to your father? And she like, yeah, he wants me to go to one of his shows. I'm trying to establish boundaries. Girl, you got a long road ahead of you. Shit. But Jax is like, I don't want you feeling like you gotta be a mediator between us though, okay? And Lewis don't want the kids to meet him until we can certify that he's stable. And Mama Lou, like, she started getting all aggy and shit. Like, look, I can handle him and all of that. What you need to do is call him back. Every time you guilty bitch, don't fucking get an attitude with me. Because you sitting up here being a fucking liar. Once again, being fucking trash. Once again. Talking about you made mistakes in the past. Ho, you are a mistake. Your life is a mistake. Spell mistake. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. And Jax ain't forgave you. Ho, fuck you. I swear I can't stand mama. I cannot stand Jax's mama. Oh my gosh. Oh, I see myself fucking her up. I see myself fucking her up. Anywho, as we proceed to give you R&B motherfuckers what you need, we pick up with Daniel. Later with Kristen. They looking at videos and shit. You know, caking. And they also, you know, talking about Ozzy and the mist and all of that. And Kristen is like, you know, how you gonna find this person? You know, and he was abused. And I'm communicating it like that because I don't buy shit Kristen selling. Okay? I see myself fucking her up too. Cause she even got the aesthetic, bruh. She got the aesthetic of the type girl that feels like they are good. Like they really want to believe and want the world to believe that they are good girls. And in real life, they are conniving, ratchet little sluts. Whores and harlots. And don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with being, you know, a little slutty, whorish, okay? Do your thing. Protect yourself at all times. Stand and live in your truth. With your Velma looking ass. And I ain't talking about, you know, girls with that aesthetic that just so happen to be, you know, sexually liberated. This also don't have nothing to do with her being sexual either. I'm gonna make that clear. I just because I said whore and slut, clarifying some things. But yeah, there are definitely girls that have that aesthetic and so happen to be freaky. Yeah, and then there are those who put themselves in that aesthetic trying to hide that they like to fuck, and they like to fuck a lot, and they like to fuck a lot of people. There are also those, which I'm referring to even more specifically, which I feel like Kristen has both. I feel like Kristen is a slut. I also feel like Kristen is a sociopath as well. And that's the main part that I'm really talking about, where I feel like she dresses herself up the way that she does to hide the fact that she's evil. Ozzy acts on set and through life, but this bitch most certainly uses her life as a stage. But check it, child, they get caught caking by Ozzy, and Daniel ends up excusing himself, and Ozzy gets on her ass and says to her, and confirms some of my speculations, I feel like. He says, I don't know what the fuck you doing, but this dude is on my legal team. Like, what's going through your mind? Where are your antennas? Okay? Because we can't have you or him fucking this shit up.
Okay? Get your head in the game. Gotta get your head in the game. Cause seem like you ain't gonna do nothing but get bored with them like you always do. Ooh. Okay, letting us know she's a man eater, make you want more, make you work hard, make you fall real hard in love. She's a man eater, make you want more, make you check cars, make you wish you never ever met her at all. You wish you never ever met her at all. Unfortunate. Another reason why Kristen is a red flag to me is because I feel like I probably said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. She looked like the girl that played the pick-me social climber on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was the light-skinned girl. She had a very like nerdy aesthetic about herself. I believe I'm trying to remember if I remember seeing her in a Jaro TC uniform, but she was that one. She was always up after Will Smith and buying him watches and motorcycles and all types of shit so that she could get social currency off of him, constantly be associated with him. She was inviting him to basketball games, professional basketball games and shit like that, so she could steadily be seen with him and associated with him to build her social currency so she could be popular. That girl crazy as hell. Now, Fresh Prince was, on some lighthearted shit. But in real life, that's, some crazy shit. And ain't no telling what type of shit that girl be on behind closed doors. And like I said, Kristen got a similar energy about herself. And she got that same aesthetic. She looked like the girl that, I don't know if it's just the costuming, but Kristen, the character at least, favors that girl as well. And that is sociopathic shit. Like, not how they look, not simply how they look, but the way they use how they look and the way that they operate is sociopathic tendencies. And with that said, right, because we usually talk about, the sexy lead or like the sexy aesthetic, the baddie aesthetic, or whatever, what have you of that nature. Girls with that type of aesthetic, using how they look to manipulate, right? You usually hear more conversations about that. However, the girls with the goody two-shoe aesthetic, there are those that also use how they look to manipulate and connive and all that as well. Because to some degree, Will probably would have had more pause if, a girl that was seen more of a baddie, like he dated Fancy from Jamie Foxx on there. So like if it was Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show, the girl that she played on there, if she came on him, showering him with gifts and this and that, I'm sure he still probably would have, he would have accepted them. But I feel like he would have had more pause. He would have had more questions about why she's doing that or why that's her love language, where's that coming from, this and that. He would have had much more concern and inquisitiveness about it. But because this girl looked how she looked, he felt disarmed. He felt like he ain't had nothing to worry about. And probably also in his mind, like, she lame, unpopular. That's why she giving me gifts. Duh. Why wouldn't she? She lame, unpopular. Egotistical. Vain. Yeah. So yeah, like girls who have that aesthetic, that use it to manipulate, they usually prey on the vain. They usually prey on people who are not aware of their privilege, like talking about. Now, in the midst of this, the doctor comes in to give an update about Ozzy's ODing situation. And he says his suggestion is that he needs to, do medical grade cannabis as a therapeutic option to wean off his addiction cravings and the anxiety. Mm-hmm. Ozzy's talking about he'll take what he can get. He tells him to get some rest. Mm-hmm. I can't argue with his prognosis. That doctor is sketchy though, child. That doctor is mighty sketchy. But child, it's trial time. And Isaac is going into court with Jackson. You got all the peoples all up in his face asking him all the uncomfortable questions. Rude. And Jax is batting them off like the flies they are. Tisk. I like the posters and stuff that the creators on the team of Reasonable Doubt got to that show. It's like posters of Ozzy from the show when he was a kid and stuff like that, because it looks very reminiscent of like the pictures that we see of Gary Coleman when he was on Different Strokes, and the Jacksons when they were younger, Janet Jackson specifically, like when she was younger on Good Times and shit like that. You know, the child star, like commercial images type shit. They look real good. That's real cool. So back at the ranch that is Ozzy's house, Daniel is over there playing games. He playing games in such the way that he called Kristen like, oh my gosh, it's an important notebook that I left and it's hella important to the trial, and if I don't have it, your brother is going to prison. To prison. Shout out to Voodoo Doll TV. I can't say it like her, but I like the way she say prison. So I can't unsay it like her. Every time I say prison, I have to say it like her. I have to say it like Voodoo Doll TV. So yeah, if I don't get this notebook, he is going to prison. But the door is locked and Kristen is cross town. So he like, do you think that it is a spare key that is anywhere around here, anything? And she like, yeah, he keep one up under the plant in front of the door and all this good shit. So when they was laid up caking in the previous scene, in the midst of them talking and commiserating and all of that, Kristen got to talking about the fact that Ozzy would journal to cope with his, emotions and everything that he would be going through in life. So I immediately peep. Daniel ain't lost no damn journal. That ain't no shit Daniel do. But Kristen don't know that. Daniel ain't lost no damn journal, especially not around your ass. Or Ozzy ass. He ain't lost that shit. That nigga trying to get up in that house so he can go steal Ozzy's journal. And yeah, he do need it for the trial. Yeah, he do. And so, child, he gets on up in there and does exactly what I was suspecting that he would do. He goes in there, sifting through Ozzy's stuff, and takes Ozzy's journals. Not just one journal, not just 2, 3, 4. He took all of them. So now they in court. And Jax is doing her thing. So now they in court. And they getting all the protocol pleasantries out the way. Sway. And we get a quick flash to Lewis over in the office. And he has to do some protocol unpleasantries himself. And this involves and include calling the money into the principal's office. Okay, and he said, I called you in here, okay, because got to correct control access mechanisms immediately. I just emailed you the reports and they're still wrong. You have until the end of the day to make the necessary adjustments, and if there are any more issues, you can expect a write-up. And the money is like, so it's like that, it's like that, and that's the way it is, baby. And that's the way it is. Big period, not the little one. And Lewis looked so damn good when he was putting his dick on the table, lights on by. We love to see it. And that night, okay, he is feeling that spirit, honey. He is up and stuck in that inner G as he is telling, I'm finna call her Alex. She's telling Jax all about it, child. He telling Jax all about it. And he like, bruh, because I'm on some like, fuck that bitch ass shit. He gonna lose his job if he don't fucking get that shit right. Oh, goofy ass, snitch ass bitch. Like, what the fuck? And Jax is like, oh, now hold on. You know, I like when that thug come out like, yeah. Right? So I feel like this is a real perfect moment to, cause I feel like it's been clarified for me in a moment. Cause I feel like Jax has had that syndrome. I forgot what they call it, but it's a syndrome that a lot of women have. A lot of women are conditioned to have. Honestly, being attracted to men that have criminal behavior, criminal essences, criminal tendencies, and shit like that, as well as associating it with protective masculinity. So what I feel like has been clarified here is that Jax has had that. That's number one. Number two, she labeled the energy that he was given thug, right? Which I understand why she used that terminology. I'm not finna police it or no shit. I'm just, that's a indicative term, okay? Indicating that some part of her does associate criminal tendencies with protective masculinity, which would explain why she's been caught up in this loop of getting lost in the sauce of criminals and being attracted to them and being like enabling to them and things of that nature, you know, in simple terms, in a nutshell. So the other part that's clarified here that I want to also point out and emphasize is that it doesn't have to be like brute thug, like excessively aggressive. It doesn't have to be that criminal tendency to be protective masculinity, because it's like what it is it's not that women want men who are criminals. It's not that women want men who are vicious and just ruthless and all of that shit. You want a man that can stand up for himself and stand for what's right, that can instill structure, that can speak and people listen actively, proactively, because it indicates respect. And respect is a major form of protection. That's why people hype up respect how they do, because it's a form of protection. Respecting yourself, being respectable, is a form of protection. You just have to know what the word actually means, because too many people think that fear and respect are interchangeable, such as being feared and respected are interchangeable, and they are not. They are not, right? And so that's hella important to note that Lewis was a leader and he instilled respect. There was no fear in the room with them. Like he didn't instill fear in him. He just let him know what it is and what it's gonna be. And him even indicating like, if it's not done, you're gonna get a write-up. That's not him threatening him. That's just the truth of what is going to happen. And he clearly needed that to be clarified and communicated, because he been acting like he don't know. And the work that he's been doing has been showing that he don't know. So Very important to emphasize and know and give Lewis all of his flowers for being a real father, a real man out here. And upgrading it, okay? He get 10 points for instilling respect and being respectable and seeming to have a clear understanding of what the word means. Sexy. But see, a lot of women have a lot of fear instilled in them from men, from very, 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 very young, from like the womb. And a lot of people in a lot of the world also says to women and convinces women that he's scaring you because he loves you. He's scaring you because he's trying to protect you. He's scaring you because he care. No, he's scaring you because he a scary ass nigga. And a lot of women don't have the urgency to run from scary ass niggas because they are taught and convinced that they are supposed to be scared, that that feeling is supposed to be in them, that that them being scared is them showing respect. That them functioning in fear is a form of showing respect. Now, child, the cheering comes in, honey. They being real pleasant and everything. They like, oh, this look good. This is good. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts. Everything is everything. You should let me help next time. Ow, yeah. All hunky-dory, like everything cool. Like they ain't just, hand Jackson Lewis they ass to him on a platter just a couple nights ago about the baby and all that. And so they are definitely like, this is suspicious. What's going on? Y'all good? Y'all not mad at us no more? And they like, oh no, Grandpa, he explained everything. It's all good. We understand. Just looking out of the window, watching the Escargot, seeing how it all looks in it down. Hey, yeah. So this lets the cat out the bag that Papa Lou, that's what I'm gonna be calling him periodically. Papa Lou, old punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane, done took his ass over there and blew up the spot. So the cheering is definitely being petty, but also genuinely do seem to have a better and healed understanding of what's going on. And so Jackson Lewis is like, y'all go ahead and get started. Pardon us real quick. And they exit. They go to the room or to the patio. I guess they gonna go hit the blunt real quick or something. Cause honey, that just gave them so much stressed up in their chest, thinking that they about to lose. Baby, it's true. Cause why old motherfucking Lewis, I just gave you 10 points and now I gotta snatch the cat back. Why the fuck you take your goddamn ass over there to old punk ass Paul over in the alley with the alley cats doing whatever it is he doing over there? Supposed to be clean. I don't know what you're doing over there, but I just think that ain't where you supposed to be at, unless you over there giving a sermon or something, or handing out some pamphlets or something, or handing out some alcohol pads or something. So if they doing it, you make sure they doing it clean or something, whatever. It don't look like this mean nothing about what you're doing over there. Look like you being old punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane. That's what it looked like you over there doing. But anywho, we finna focus on Lewis exhibiting punk ass behavior. Cause first of all, the time, effort, creativity, prayer, whatever it was that you put into your spiel to Damani, when you nipped him in the bud, you needed to do the same thing for old punk ass Paul. You took your ass over there unprepared, big up in your chest, too much percentage on the ego. I said 30%. You had your 30% when you was talking to the money, okay? That was a good 30%. Now you is all up in the 80s with it. I know that he is giving very snowfall realness over here in the alley with the alley cats, doing whatever it is that he is doing over there. But that should not bring crackhead energy out of you. This is beneath you. What are you doing? What are you doing? So Lewis tried to instill fear into punk ass Paul from being Mary Jane. You can't instill no fear in this alley cat. He ain't scared of shit. He was doing heroin and all some other shit. People who do crack and heroin and all of that, honey, especially by the time they overcome, you got to be real creative to scare them. What are you doing? What are you doing? And he bigger than you. I ain't saying to mean that he can win the fight just because he bigger than you, but he bigger than you on top of everything he is and everything he done been through. And ain't no telling what he doing over there in that alley, in them alley cats. He might have some extra Popeye spinach in his system. Lewis. I told you to stand up, but now I gotta tell you to sit down. But I ain't even gotta tell you that because old punk ass Paul laid you out verbally. And what's crazy is that old punk ass Paul put him on his ass talking about, you old punk ass nigga, you getting the PTA pregnant, shitting where you lay. At least I took my shit on the road. You let my daughter get bent over and snatched up by a convict. First of all, you talking about your daughter. That's why I'm like, Lewis, this man should have never been able to read you down. You went over there totally outside of yourself. And that's the only reason Paul was able to read him down, is because he was outside of himself. That's not him. And it don't translate for a nigga like Paul. Punk ass Paul. Okay? So no. But if you gonna say anything, you could have easily said to this nigga, first of all, listen at the language you use, even talking about your daughter. That's how one motherfucker know you don't have no connection to her, let alone respect. You don't respect shit. You don't respect yourself. Look at you. Look at where you at. Look at the shit that you done. Look at how you treat your kid. Look at you. Like, easily could have read him down with his whole truth. Like, he fixated on one mistake that's based off fucking really nothingness, just him thinking about ego and shit, which, nigga, you have no leg to stand on. You have no leg to stand on, especially in comparison to Lewis. You are not the better man. It doesn't matter what mistake that he has made. He's done a multitude of things to be able to fucking to spare off that one damn mistake. Like, come on. Like, he got credit built up to where that mistake is just what it is. Punk ass Paul ain't got no credit. Punk ass Paul ain't got no credits. And what I mean by that is, for instance, like Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. Will Smith, for multitude of his career, has been a class act, People done roasted the dog shit out of him, done disrespected the shit out of him, disrespected his wife, all types of shit in his face, out his face, all types of shit. So, him smacking the shit out of Chris, it was wrong. And hold him accountable, yes. But hold that shit over his shoulder for the rest of his life and act like that means that he's some evil person now and he deserves to just be thrown away because he smacked the shit out of Chris Rock this one time. No, he got credit built up. He got good karma credits built up to where he could afford to smack a bitch real quick. Okay? Versus how a lot of motherfuckers and how Paul would love to be. Oh, I pay the bills. I work this job. I got this title. So I can be a disrespectful bastard and just fucking abuse people and abuse my power. Rah, 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 rah. No, that's not the same shit. That's some bullshit. But nah, I feel like karma credits are real. It's not fair for someone to be like excellent without excuse for a multitude of their life, and then this one time they fall off of a wagon and now you want to act like, oh, that means everything you did up to this point is a lie. No, unless you discovered they were genuinely like you thought they was this just a cool excellent school teacher, and turns out like you thought they was a cool school teacher and they give extra credit when the kids go get tutoring at their house, and then you find out they actually been violating the kids and shit. That's not the same thing. Okay, that's not the same thing. I'm just making sure to be very clear about what I'm speaking on, okay? So all that said, Lewis got good karma credits built up to where motherfuckers gonna get up off Lewis. Cause not only did punk ass Paul sit up here and try it for the filth, but I be seeing other folks in the comments and other people who review trying it for the filth also. Come up off Lewis, cause he got good karma credits, damn it. Come up off of him. He is a real father, a real man. Players just fuck up sometimes. Damn. The real issue is a lot of motherfuckers is just control freaks and they just be wanting what's predictable. Good people who are flawed scare control freaks. They would rather be around people who are consistently trash. Because they can always expect them to be trash. But when good people are flawed, that disturbs their control freakness. And no lie, I feel like that's a thing that is like a wedge that becomes and has been a wedge between Jax and Lewis too, because Jax is a control freak and Lewis, for the most part, and at least until further notice, he's a good person. He's a good dude. And like I said, that shit scares control freaks. Because just that mentality finds it more comforting to just expect trash than to adorn and embrace and I guess get comfortable in a good person being a good person, and then at certain points they have to process how they feel about whatever flaws come about. That ever-changing aspect of life drives them fucking nuts, and they drive themselves nuts. They drive themselves nuts trying to avoid it. But honey, you're living. Well, you're alive at least. Imprisoning yourself from actually living, which could also be another factor and layer in why Jax has been attracted to prisoners. Because the thing is too, I feel like much like what was described about that scripture that I talked about in the previous reviews concerning infidelity and adultery, that before it shows up in a materialized form in the relationship, both parties are betraying themselves in some way, and it ends up manifesting it. I also feel like
before a person ends up in legal situations of the sort, or that end up, they could be facing prison time of some sort, they have already been imprisoning themselves in some way, and it's led them to either being attracted to that, or them attracting it to them one way or another, by their habits, by the people that they allow into their life, or energy sometimes can just random manifestations and shit, because we are energy. And that's also like a part of that phrase, you attract, like, because another way that it goes is you attract what you are. But I feel like it's a better word, which a friend of mine says it this way. That's where I got it from. But she says you attract what you entertain. And I also feel like that can also be flipped as you attract what you are entertained by also. And that is excellently applicable to this particular season, being the fact that it's dealing with an entertainer being on trial. That's crazy. Oh, and I got a chill saying that shit too. Synchronicity. Now, finally, the last scene of the episode. Daniel, come on, tongue. Mercury retrograde is on the horizon, and I'm trying real hard not to square up with them already. Shit, I be tongue tied enough as it is. Calm down. But anyway, Daniel going through the journals, and he called Jax because he done made a real keen discovery. Reading through the text, and I'm saying text as in text of passage, not text as in text message. So Daniel is reading through the journals, reading a specific passage in the journals where Ozzy is communicating, feeling betrayed by Wendy, and feeling very emotionally in despair, needing to call on someone, and Monica being there and him being unable to tell her no, and he hasn't been able to tell her no since he was 13. So, this other cat, it's a lot of cats. A lot of cats been in the review of this episode. They've been alley cats, tom cats, okay? I didn't mention all of the different types of cats, but we had alley cats, tom cats, bob cats, okay? Cats coming out the bag, all right? Cat o' nine tails, goddammit. Pussy cats, alley cats, big pussies, all right? Lots of cats going. Cat's Motel, shout out to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Shit, okay? So, like I said, cats out the bag. That the Pedialyte bear herself is Monica Nowinski. Oh, you bet you. And meanwhile, across town, shout out to Alexander Rogers. She's over there praying on that boy as we speak. Oh, gosh. I see myself fucking her up. But with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this couch right. And I am thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And be sure to bless that comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you in all ways light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.